1892. So it's over many years. It's over 130 years old now, isn't it? But it's not the oldest church in the diocese or in the parish. The oldest church in the parish is St Catherine's, Rathmullan. I think it's the oldest working church in the diocese. It's 1790s, so that's really old. Would you all see me? You will. So who's going to ask the first question anyway?
What's it like being a priest?
What's it like being a priest? That's a very good question. Now, every day is different. Some days I'm very, very busy. Other days be quiet. But say this week now, there's a few big feasts on this week. We have St Bridget, and which is the blessing of the crosses, and then there's a feast called St Blaise. And St Blaise is blessing of throats. He's the patron saint of throats, and so many people with flus, so I'll be blessed all the throats of the people. And then on Friday, the blessing of the candles, and then on Thursday and Friday too, I go around to all the sick people and the old people in the parish. So every day is very different. So it varies, and you never really know what tomorrow will bring.
So what's the busiest day of the week, Father Martin?
My brother thinks I'm never busy. He thinks I have nothing at all to do.
And why is that?
But he thinks I just sit in the house all day. But the busiest day of the week is probably the weekends, because there's a lot of masses and people are at home at the weekends too, and a lot of people will be calling. Weddings take place at the weekend, baptisms take place at the weekend, so it can be quite busy at the weekends, yeah. And now afterwards I'm going to go to a wake, and then later on this evening I have a young couple who are getting married coming to see me. So you just never know what's around the corner, and then sometimes you get a sick call, maybe at night time, people want you to go to see them at night, or are sick or dying or something like that, then you might have to go out. Yeah.
If you could have one day less busy or to do something in your own time, which day would you pick?
Well, I try to take Wednesday and do nothing. Yeah. And what I do then on a Wednesday, if it's a good day, I go golfing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Wednesday is the day I try to do as little as possible. So don't come looking for me on a Wednesday.
Is it difficult being a priest?
Is it difficult being a priest? It can be difficult enough, because it can be a little bit lonely at times, because you're not married and you don't have a family, so you're on your own all the time, so that can be a bit difficult. But people, I think, every place I've worked in South America, and I've worked in Ireland, and I've worked different parts of the world, and every place I've been, people have been very supportive, and the people are always there to help you out and to support you. So I've been very lucky like that, no matter where I've been now. Yeah.
When did you want to become a priest?
I'm trying to think back now. That's a long, long time ago. I was a young boy at secondary school, and probably about 15. And I remember once this priest came to visit the school, and he worked in Africa, and he talked to us about the work he was doing in Africa. And I thought, geez, that's interesting work, that, because he was talking about helping the poor people in Africa, and how they were helping to get together and to organise and all that. Leaving church here, I remember saying to my mammy, I think I might become a priest. And I remember she was ironing at the time, she was ironing a shirt or something at the time. And she said to me, don't you be silly, that's not for you, she says. She didn't think I was really holy. I said to my father, and he said, whatever you think yourself. He didn't say that, And I remember that summer, I went off to work in a pub in London, the Hot Poles pub, and I thought about it there, and I came back home and I said, yeah, I'm going to try out becoming a priest. That was back in 1972. That's over 50 years ago. It's very hard to remember so far back, but that was when I did. So I went to Maynooth for 3 years, And then I went off to Rome then for 4 years. And after 7 years, 1979, 45 years ago, I was ordained a priest in Falcara.
Have you ever met the Pope?
Yeah, he met me. Because when I was studying in Rome, so now and again we had to serve the Pope's Mass, you know, and we would get this big privilege of going over to the Vatican and over to St. Peter's. I remember the first time was Oliver Plunkett's canonization. He stayed from Ireland. We were called over for that, and a few other times then we got to meet him and photographed alongside him. So, yeah, that was John Paul that time, and I have never met Pope Francis. I would like to meet Pope Francis, but I haven't met him yet, no.
Where do you get the different equipment and products for the chapel?
You think like the hosts for communion and the wine and the bread, yeah. Funny enough, there's a van that comes round. It's Desmond Wisely. He comes around. He supplies us with wine and things like breads and the books, and then sometimes Veritas, which is the book placed in Letterkenny, the holy books in Letterkenny. You can get stuff there as well, you know. And vestments, the vestments the priest wears, and different colours for different times of the year. Red if there's say a martyr, or at Easter time sometimes. Green generally throughout the year. I use the purple there for deaths, for people, funeral masses, and then white for saint days and all that. Where do we get them? Yeah, you get them in probably Veritas as well. Yeah.
When do you get your holidays in the year?
My holidays, I like to take my holidays about October, when it's cold here, and I like to go places where there's sun. So that means I generally go back to South America, where I worked for 15 years. So I'm going back there to South America. Last year, Brazil, and I just toured her. And the year before that, I was in Peru and Ecuador. And the year before that, I was in Mexico. And I just get on a bus and I travel on and off buses as I go along, and you meet people, and it's exciting, and it's different, and it's lovely music, lovely food, and yeah. That's what I do in my holidays. Head off with a bag and just get on a bus and off a bus. It's great.
What do you have a favourite prayer?
Do I have a favourite prayer? I do. It's a very simple, with the Our Father. I think that's a lovely prayer because you're talking to Daddy, my daddy. Not only my daddy, but your daddy, our daddy. So it's a very nice prayer about a God who just cares for us and loves us. And I like that prayer. And it's easy to say, easy to remember.
Father Martin says a mass every day. Father Martin says a mass every day. Father Martin says a mass even when we are in class. Father Martin says a mass every day. Father Martin says his prayers every night. Father Martin says his prayers every night. Father Martin says his prayers every night and everywhere. Father Martin says his prayers every night. Father Martin's always very, very nice. Father Martin's always very, very nice. Father Martin's always nice, even when he sees the mice. Father Martin's always very, very nice. Oh yeah!
Very, very good.
We listen to all of it.
If I knew this or to show you around, I'd have tidied it all up beforehand.